Some relationships will come together and stay together. That's good and fine if they do, but it's also good and fine if they don't. We shouldn't expect a longevity in love or relationships because we are forever moving as human beings. If we leave our head out the equation, right, and if we just say we have this heart and we find this person and we have this heart to heart, this is great, this is really brilliant. And then all of a sudden we go, you know, I've had enough of that. It's just come to a point where it doesn't work anymore. Your heart wouldn't go, yeah, but you know, what are the connotations of this? You know, what would happen about the mortgage? What would happen? Where would I live? You know, what would this person do? Well, I feel guilty. I feel this. It doesn't do that because it works on a purity, and love is love is love. It doesn't have these logical connotations. It doesn't. It does that thing. And then if everybody could do that, just go, hey, that was good while it lasted. Thank you very much. Shake my hand, and I'll go somewhere else and see what happens somewhere else. And that is how you emotionally work. That is how it should emotionally be. Your heart, your soul will have its own code of ethics and morals, and they're very different to what you make up in your head. Because your heart and your soul never wants to hurt anybody, but at the same time it recognises that you need to maintain a healthy balance of your own feelings. So it will always go by those first, because it knows that actually what happens by doing that is you will get into a much healthier relationship that has the same energy as you, and the person that you don't want in your life anymore will get into a much healthier relationship for them with someone with a similar energy to them. We're all meant to evolve as human beings, okay? And some people will touch like that and will come away, and that's perfectly natural, and that's fine. The only problem is when we try and maintain that, when we go, I don't really come unstuck from that, for whatever reason, because we have children, or because our career, because financial security, or whatever it may be, and we try and maintain that. And then that's when the problem comes, because actually we're going against nature. We're going against the dynamic because our head tells us this is what should happen, because God thinks so, or our mum and dad think so, or whatever anybody thinks so. That's where the problems arise. And we sort of accept it with our children. And we have our babies, and we go, I'm going to do everything for you because quite frankly you can't do anything for yourself. And when they become the age of about, I don't know, whatever age they become, we go, I don't need to do that as much, and it's not good for me to do that as much, and it's not good for you to accept that much. So the balance changes, but the love remains. There's a flexibility. And so when they become teenagers, when they become adults, we adjust to their growth, but we don't adjust our love, or we shouldn't. Our love remains pure as a soul to soul. When I hear people say, I need to make this work, I should be able to make this work, why can't I make it work? If we have a child, it will work. If this happens, it will work. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And if you can just say, this ain't working, step back from it, and you don't have animosity, you don't have guilt, you don't have grief, you don't have anything, you just accept it for what it is, a touching of the souls on what level, and a leaving a part of the soul. And actually when you do that, you have a real purity with the soul you've left behind, because you have no angst, you have none of that stuff that go with there. And you do see that in relationships where there's no blame attached, when people just go, that's the way it is. These people do have the souls do not run completely parallel, they go their separate ways, but when they do come together there is an actually magnetic force, a chemical energy that sort of says, thanks very much, that was really nice, and I'm glad you're doing well, and I'm pleased that you're pleased for me that I'm doing well. And that's it in its purity. So it's only ever when we interfere with our heads that we make a complete cock-up of what is natural. Why should we anyway feel a failure about a relationship that doesn't work? Why should we do that? What's failing about that? Nothing's failing about it, is there? Nothing. If you think about it, if someone says to you, like, oh, come to the cinema with me, I really want you to see this film. You're going to love this film, come and see it. And you sit in the cinema and think, I hate this film. Would you really sit through that whole film? Would you go, I'm sorry, I've had enough of this, I want to go for a pizza? Would you feel guilty about not staying for a whole of a film you have no love for and will never have any love for? And it is the same thing. It is the same thing. So everything, if we just take away our head, it's always going to come back to that. We see the purity of the relationship we've got. And it doesn't matter if there isn't anything in it, although it's wonderful if there is. But you have to be brave in order to take away all the ideas and concepts that have been given to you. Most of the stuff that you carry in your head has been donated to you. Again, so I see people who go, oh, we're going to make a go of it, you know, because my parents did. I mean, please, I can never begin to understand that. So your parents are knocking lumps out of each other and you decided, oh, well, you know, that's a good idea for me to do the same. And so we perpetuate it, we think, or we can go the other way, you know, my parents split up, so no way am I going to split up. We have this, and we give them, and a marriage is forever, and you have to work at a marriage. Again, I don't get it. I don't get why you should work at any relationship, and how a marriage could be any different from any other relationship. So don't ever work at a relationship, don't ever try and make anything work, don't try again. Follow your heart and see where your heart takes you. Always go where your heart is directing you, for me. I find a lot of the times that I work with people, and they will say, somewhere along the line, they will say, when they start to take an emotional control of their lives, they will say, oh, you know, I'm feeling not better, it's great. Well, they start to feel better, is usually the time. They go, oh, I would so love it if you saw my son or my daughter, or both, and would you work with them? And I always say, yeah, no problem, but let me finish our work together. Let's do our work first. And one woman that comes in mind, she said to me, my son never talks to me, he's always going out, you know, he won't engage with me at all. My daughter used to sit on my lap and I used to read a story, she won't come anywhere near me. She wanted me to work with both of her kids. When we finished the work, she said, I said, do you still want me, by the way? She hadn't brought the subject up for children to continue our work. And she said, I said, would you like me to work with the children? Oh no, they've changed. It's incredible, you know. My son doesn't hardly go out anymore, my daughter sits on my lap. And so you will always be the fulcrum in your family as a mother. Always. And so they will react around you. So if you try, they will try. If you stop trying, they will stop trying. So what you get is a purity. Again, I worked with a woman who said to me, you know, I find it so frustrating with my son because he's so naughty and I tell him off and I tell him off and I tell him off. And I said, okay, so I said, what do you do next? So she said, well, I feel terrible. And I pick him up and I hold him and I tell him I love him and give him a big cuddle. And I said, that's why he's being naughty. So he can get the smack, so you'll give him the hug. So don't try to have a relationship with your child. Don't ever try and have a relationship with anybody. Really, seriously, be brave and say, I'm doing this anymore, I'm going to be me. And you will find, I guarantee, that your relationship with your children will change. Because you are the fulcrum. You don't know my father. You don't know my mother. You always hear that. You don't know my son, my daughter, my dog, my rabbit. You don't know mine. And I don't need to know them. I just need to identify who is the fulcrum in the family. And you as the mother, you are the pivotal point. So actually what's happening with the son, is it your son or your daughter you're talking about?
Son.
You're producing most of that. You're making most of that happen. How does that make you feel?
Yeah.
But the great thing is if you stop trying it to change, I guarantee you, if I speak to you, if you do this from this night on, and you do this for, keep it up, because they will offer resistance. Because they'll try and reinforce a contract they had with you that no longer exists, right? Not because they want it, but because they think that's what it should be. And you just be you. You're going to go, you know, they're a teenager now, they're going to be like that for the rest of their life. It's probably different, I'll be working in a different way. But you're saying, well, they're a teenager, I'm thinking, well, you've got probably for, I don't know, 3 years tops. It's going to be a bit of shit. But it's going to be more shit for them than it is for you.
Yeah.
It ain't fun being a teenager.
No, it's horrible.
So let them have that. Don't take responsibility for that. You cannot take responsibility for that. But you're. It's sort of like saying, I'm here if you need me. No, full well they're not going to come to you, but I'm here if you need me. But actually when you do that, when you say, look, I'm there if you need me, they sort of go, oh, okay, that's cool. And you may just find they will come knocking on your door and going, you know, you said you could, you may, or you may not, but that's not a problem either way.
That's a good one to tell all parents with teenagers because they're tearing their hair out. How can they help their teenagers?
You can't.
You're saying you can't.
You can't. If you look at if you look at a 2-year-old child, the 2-year-old child that has a temper tantrum is actually expressing themselves incredibly well and beautifully. But we as parents might go, oh God, what on earth is going on?
Yeah.
What on earth is happening to my child? Why are they doing this? Why are they embarrassing me? Right? That's what we do, isn't it? Let's be honest. We don't go, the poor thing, you know, we go, oh my God, I'm in Tesco's or Sainsbury's and this is happening. It's always happens at Tesco and Sainsbury's. Not Waitrose, I believe.
That's exempt.
Yeah. But actually what's happening is the child is feeling and then expressing. So they're not even thinking. They're not thinking at all. They're just feeling it, they're feeling whatever's happening, the energy coming up, and it goes out. So what happens at the end of this temper tantrum is a child will go, Dad, can I have an ice cream? And you go, you what? After that? You think you're going to get an ice cream after that? And the child will go, what? It won't register the actions that happen because it never went there in the first place. It was just a very natural, fluid, emotional dynamic. It's a beautiful thing. So you know when that child's having a tantrum, I think we all know as our children, there ain't one single thing you can do about it, is there? And hasn't everyone tried? You know, you can pick them up, you might feel like throwing them out the door, but nothing's ever going to work. And it's the same with a teenager. It's not quite as intense, it's more of a slow burn, but it's the same thing. And you can't interfere with someone's process. You mustn't. You must be brave enough to go, I can't do anything with this. And in fact, anything that I do will just interfere with that person's process.
God, that is so huge and so hard not to try and help.
But the reason most people are trying to help is for their own benefit, to make them feel better about the situation. Yeah. What can I do to help? Because I should, because I'm the parent, this and that. But this isn't your deal. This is not your deal. You are an individual, as is your child and everybody's child. We're all individuals, and there are things that we have to individually deal with, whether we like it. It's like if you look at depression. If I see someone with depression, then I have a quick work time with them, because I know how to work with depression, because I work around the individual and the situation they're in. If you have a clinical depression, it usually lasts for 5 years. That's the usual time for it, 3 to 5 years. Unless you take medication, then it's going to last from 7 to 9. They will tell you that, that's a reality. So the drugs are interfering with the process, and it is a natural process according to the chemicals that are going on. Because the chemicals are making it a natural process, right? It could be something physical that's happening in life, or emotional that's happening in life, but then the chemicals kick in. And then at that point, when the chemicals kick in, it's a natural process. It's unnatural for us to allow the chemicals to kick in. We should be able to go, hold on a minute, I'm not going that route, I'm going to deal with it emotionally. But if we don't, it goes there and the chemicals go in that thing. So then we combat that chemical with this chemical, which is why we elongate the process of depression. And it's the same with all emotional situations. So I would say to anybody with a teenage child, what on earth can I do? I would say nothing. And the sooner you do nothing, the sooner it'll be over. Depression is a mindset. So, but when you're in the mindset, you release the chemicals that will maintain that life set. So I always look at what happened before the life set. Okay, so there's always something that precipitates a problem.
Oh, right.
So I'm never interested in what anybody tells me about what is the problem. I'm always interested in what produced the problem, because there within lies that switchover point.
Right.
In everything. So that's the other thing we do. We're good at interfering with other people's business, you know, but not understanding we're actually doing more harm than good by doing it. We don't intend to, but quite often that's what we're doing.
Right.
So sympathy, for one thing, is actually sympathy is pity, and all pity produces is self-pity.
No good. Yeah.
So you know, I've seen clients that have come to me and said, and I say, okay, can I ask you know why you here? How did you hear about it, and so forth? And they say things like, well, I used to go to so and so, what's his name? But he's retired now. And then it gets a bit deeper. I say, so can I ask how long you've been there for? And so, oh, I always go to him. Oh, what do you mean you always go to him? Oh, he's always, and then the next words would always be, he always seems to understand me. And in other words, what these clients I now have are saying, he always feels sorry for me. You can make a really good living as a therapist out of feeling sorry for people, you know, because a lot of people don't actually want to get better. They want someone to feel sorry for them. You as a parent, you as a loving mother will do, if you follow your instinct and be brave enough to follow your instinct, you will automatically do what is right. But you know, the added bonus of that tonight, you've already learned that what you have been doing doesn't fucking work. So you have your last option, which is your best option. You watch it work, I promise you. I promise you. Everyone's gone to sleep, so at that point, thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Well done.
you.
Well done.